Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 23 on intimacy loss. And I am Rupam, founder and CEO of Aculi Labs Private Limited, creator of Lifers, and author of the book Intimacy Loss for Men, The Birth of the Lugal. And in our series of intimacy loss, we take 1 hour of complete full class, sharing knowledge, sharing education on various subjects of relationship dynamics and life. The reason these videos are of 1 hour, more or less of high length, and these videos do not contain any graphics in between, not that we can not load them with graphics, but these videos are giving you the ability to focus again. We know that the life is very hard these days, and a lot of you are suffering with several challenges such as depression, anxiety, breakup in the relationship, betrayal by the people. And it's very important when you go through such difficulties in life that you get something with which you can align your energy with, and then your brain slowly start becoming stable. That is the reason these classes are this, we call these episodes as classes, where I try to explain you the fundamentals of life scientifically and with as much simplicity as possible. Yesterday, in yesterday's class, we learned about the basics of mood swings and how females can start feeling again in a 12 weeks schedule. And in today's episode, we are going to conclude the female mood issues by explaining you and giving you real practical insights about what are the things that you should be careful about, why you should be careful about. One of the key assumptions in the modern day is that people have a very short attention span. The people are looking for quick information. The people wants to just know and move on. Now, just because somebody has low attention doesn't mean that entire world has to have a low attention. First, understand that female brain is completely, we know that the prefrontal cortex volume has reduced in the female, and in European females in last 3000 years it's about 250 cc of total volume that the brain has shrunk. A very serious challenge. 3000 years is very small time for evolution, and a lot of prefrontal cortex part of the brain, cortex part of the brain of the females has shrunk. Now, one of the things that you should stop doing is looking for shortcuts. Females have never looked for shortcuts. They have always looked for long-term solutions. They have always looked for stability. And because some people do not have the ability to reach to the pinnacle, and then they kind of inspire you to go for the short thing. So when, of course, you are alone, you tend to go to internet, social media, scroll, browse. Now you see, when you suffer with mood swing problem, when you suffer with unstable mood, either very high, very low, which can again become a psychotic disorder such as borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder. But principally, these are the disorders which are very, very common, or very not having these disorders is uncommon in today's time. So these disorders are common because One of the lies that people tell you is that people have low attention span. They want things to be quick, they want things to be flashy. No. Female brain is an extraordinarily imaginative brain. If you see in front of your eyes, if you see in front of your eyes, then your imaginary brain is not triggering. So already there is a devaluation of prefrontal cortex, and then if you remove the right side brain, then there is a very small left brain anyways has less gray matter for the female. So if you remove this part of the brain, then there is a very small brain which is operating, and that gets very worried. So one of the things that you have to become very resilient of is not consuming short stuff, small information, small flashy videos, small web series, 15 seconds of video. Why? Because female brain doesn't really gain anything by short pleasure. We know that whatever it is, if you are looking for any quote unquote content or information, that takes about 2 to 5 minutes of your time, 2 to 5 minutes of your time, then your feelings are derived out of those 2 to 5 minutes. They have gone far below now. 15 seconds, 1 minute. So if you are focusing on something for 1 minute, then your brain knows that the focus span is only for 1 minute. The brain doesn't have any motivation to focus. So because you are watching for something for 5 minutes or max and getting pleasure out of it, feelings out of it, what happens is after the after effect of that, that's also short span, which is about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So hormones comes back to the normalcy. So let's say that if you are operating at this mood level, if you are operating at this mood level, and if you are giving a 5 minutes up boost, then again it comes down. So not only this 5 minutes that you are investing is getting wasted, but there is a frustration that you are creating in the brain. You may be going and visiting to a doctor, and you might have observed that you have been prescribed medicines. Not really. A time is given. So which means that you may get your prescription, your medicine, maybe 5 minutes, but your life's problem comes from 20 years. 20 years has what is at stake in for you to face this serious challenge, and that cannot be solved even by a 20 minutes talk. So what you need is understanding, and therefore I highly encourage you to convince yourself that it is not worth to look into anything which is very short, because that is one of the key reasons why mood swing happens, because your brain is looking for, this female brain is more or less a stable brain. It looks for the stability. What is those stabilities? It looks for the time. So there are several good teachers in YouTube and in other platforms. You can open them, you can emotionally get connect with them, you can learn, you can note down if you are lonely. But if you are going with those 5 minutes thing, then that will cause a lot of frustration in you. So adding to yesterday's action, course of action, I would encourage you to start reading more, spending more time with books, even if they are fiction books. That's quite good literature. What that will do is that will give you more stability of the brain. So you are going to remain engaged with something for a very longer period of time, and the brain is going to remain to be happy. Because then by watching longer content, watching educational videos which are half an hour, 1 hour length, by reading long articles, you may not understand them, you may not comprehend them. Doesn't make any difference. You are not supposed to learn everything in life in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You are supposed to understand that your brain's primary need is emotions, not feelings. You already know what is emotion, and therefore those emotion gets developed only after significant amount of time. So if you read the same book 300 pages from first page to the last page, you develop an emotion for the book. But if you read one small banner, then you don't have emotions, you have feelings, and the more feelings you search, your mood varies because your mood is low and it is driving a low emotion. So it is the you cannot uplift the mood. People say uplift the mood. You cannot uplift the mood. You have to work on the entire emotional aspect. All right. So after the 12 week, what you start doing, or even within the 12 week, if possible, you can ask yourself a question whether you'd want to be with something that gives you only 5 minutes time, what you are seeking. A female seeks time because more time she gets, more emotion she gets. So the important principle that you have to know is that most of the corporations, the capitalist world, divide you of your emotion and replace them by feelings purely so that you remain anxious, you remain unstable. That's how they make business out of you, right? So what you do is you focus on emotions, that is reading longer articles, reading complete books, watching good teachers complete classroom video of 1 hour, because with that you don't have to understand completely, but with that you tell your brain that I care for your emotions. So because the world today drives across the feelings and females emotions are completely replaced by pity feelings, you will find it very hard. Everything is manipulated in such a way that you don't get emotion but you get feelings. 5 minutes blog, 2 minutes reading, 3 minutes video, 15 seconds of video, and you get completely engaged with them. But that's what is causing your brain a disturbance. So you have to completely eliminate the online engagement of yours with short content, with short information. 5 ways to improve your relationship, 2 ways to get a better deal, 3 ways to get over your depression. Life is not about 1 ways, 2 ways, 3 ways, 5 ways, or highways. Females, life is about stability. So you got the logic. Whatever you do, you have to ensure you spend more time, at least 1 hour, 2 hours doing that. That stabilizes your brain, make your brain focus on that thing. Why? Because unless and until you allow your brain to become stable, then your brain is not going to be able to uplift your mood ever, increase the levels ever. So your responsibility with your brain is to give it give it substantial time into something. So this is from your 12th week onwards, because you'll not be able to immediately do it. You'll be able to do it from the 12th week onwards probably. And if you're disciplined enough, you'll be able to do it from now also. So getting rid of short things from life. Getting rid of short things from life. You seek more time, you give yourself more time, you stabilize yourself, you you spend time with the things that are more, that gives you the opportunity to engage more time. And that is the reason you may think about start taking art as one of the very important, and I'm sure most of you girls over here who are attending these classes, sometimes or the other in your life you might have definitely loved art, because girls have a very strong imaginary brain, right side brain, and therefore you can start painting. You don't have to post it in the social media. What you have to do is you have to paint. You have to put your feelings into your painting every day. Use color, brushes, then bind them, put them in your home, and you see them, you'll feel good about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. It is your emotion. So you can pour your entire emotion into art. You can pour your entire emotion into art. 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. And once you start doing that, because you'll be engaging your brain, right side brain, you'll get fascinated by yourself. Understand that people show you different things, animations, 3Ds, colors, everything, because they want you to even lose your right side brain. Understand, in last 3000 years female brain has shrunk. Almost 250 cc brain is lost, and in the modern time people are targeting your right side brain. They're showing you what you need to see. However, female brain doesn't work in that way. It wants to visualize, it wants to imagine, it wants to fantasize. And therefore, the second thing, first thing, eliminating all the short things from the online presence. No scrolling, you don't get anything of the short stuff. You focus, you identify good teachers in YouTube and other platforms, and watch their educational video. You just emotionally connect with them, and then start learning whatever you learn, but it is the emotion that you are giving that is going to work like therapeutics. Next is your right side brain engagement. For that, I highly encourage you to start taking up the paint again. Whether you are a good painter or not doesn't matter, but visualizing and painting, you are more and more and more, you are going to engage your right side brain. So we already know, if a pressure is applied, look here, if pressure is applied on small part of surface, so it's going to hurt. But if it is applied on larger surface, it's going to hurt less, because pressure is equal to force by area. So if only this much of brain is taking care of your entire decisions, then you will always feel shooting pain over here, because rest of the brains are not working. So as you keep engaging your right side of the brain, you have a larger area. So what it is going to do is, it is going to reduce your shooting pain or the murmur over here. Now, just by painting and avoiding the short thing, so when you avoid the short thing, you are engaging with longer content. As you might have noticed, even in this classroom, as I teach and talk, your brain pulls out a lot of past memories. Your brain pulls out a lot of past experience. That's how a female brain is. That is the reason. That is the reason. And because male also contain half, that is X chromosomes, which is the mother's part. These videos do not contain any animation or any distraction so that your brain can focus. You can, with these videos, you're spending time with yourself. And this 1 hour of time that you're spending with yourself is what is giving your brain the stability. It's not how much you are learning here, it's how much valuing you are doing to yourself. All right, so next thing is your imaginary brain. Just paint. Think anything, paint, put any silly colors, make symmetrical shapes, do anything, and then take out those drawings, bind them, put it at your home, your room. Number three, you have to become very, very aware of what kind of conversation you engage yourself in. You have to become very, very aware of what kind of conversation you are in. You are not, you are expected to identify the patterns in life. First of all, whenever so the third point is around conversation. So we are already now engaging your entire brain, but now we want to reduce the amount of unnecessary processing your brain does. How your brain does unnecessary processing is when it has to answer questions. You already have low energy and you don't want to waste even a bit of that energy in answering questions that has no meaning. For example, I ask, how are you? It appears very, very harmless question, but it's an extremely harmful question for the females. If I ask, how are you? You have to think. You may not be good, but you may think that, how can I say that I am not good? Let me say that I am good. So, your brain will process. So, what's going on in life? Your brain will process that. What's going on? Nothing is going on. But you thought, but the brain has to start thinking. Brain doesn't have that energy. Somebody gives you advices. Why don't you just go there? You'll get better solutions. Why don't you buy this? So, these are questions. The more amount of questions that people ask you, your brain is going to continuously get drained. So when you are talking with phone or other people, people may ask question and you have to use this sentence. Please do not ask questions. Please do not ask questions. Of course, if it is professional, you know how to handle this. After you have managed the personal relationship, have you had your food? Your brain has to answer. This appears a very, very caring question, but let's say that you have not eaten your food. The person who is asking, maybe your mother, maybe somebody else, but the person who is asking what he or she can do if you have not eaten your food. They may tell, please eat food. Afternoon you must have your lunch. Come on, you know that. You did not have to invest your brain in knowing what you already know. You understand? So because most of the world is so much lazy brain that they don't even have the awareness how they hurt you, then they want you all to come down to their level, which you are not going to do. So whenever anybody asks any sort of question, just focus. Let's say somebody asks, would you come for a dinner? No, today. So whenever somebody asks for a question, slow down. Think whether answering that question is required or not, because people ask questions as authority. Only authorities ask questions. Government asks you questions. Tax officer asks you questions. Police ask you questions. Humans converse. We don't ask questions. So whenever people start asking you questions, stop them. Number three, you'd save a lot of energy. Don't allow others to ask you questions. Ask the questions back to them. Say somebody says, how are you? Well, what would you do with that knowledge? They would get very, very, because answering is very hard. Somebody says, have you eaten the food? So you ask the question back, what do you think? Somebody says, why don't you get a child? Nice. So how much study have you done on the children? Please tell me. And you engage them. You make their brain to work. You stop your brain and make their brain to work. When you are going to come to us, so if you were in my place, how would you decide? Like this. What dress you are buying this festive season? That is not really my concern, whatever I feel good. But why did you ask this question? Would you buy the same dress that I bought? So, the way that you discourage people from asking you question is whenever people ask you question, you ask them question back. Whenever people ask you question, you ask the question back, you don't answer. Will you come for dinner? No. Why? Now you don't. You start justifying, don't. Say, what would you do with my reason? Ask them, what would you do with my reason? What would you do with my reason? Come on, understand. If you were busy studying and you told that reason to that person, how would that reason be in any which ways responsible? So one of the things that you should do is keep a personal diary. Start noting down the questions that people ask you in everyday's conversation. You know the trick now. You have to write down the things. So how you are going to write down is after any conversation, you sit and note down the questions, and your target, your objective would be from the conversation, eliminate the questions. Let's say your man comes back home and asks, how was the day? You too are going to avoid asking questions because you are not receptive. See, your brain is operating at this level. You don't need those answers because your brain cannot keep those answers. They don't care about those answers. So why you want your brain to do something that it doesn't care about? Getting no questions. You share your day. So for example, your man comes back, you ask how was the day. Now this is more or less habits. This is not really you are curious to know his day. Rather, we tell him, if you have something interesting, please tell me this story over the tea. Get fresh. See, lot of difference. If you ask, how was the day? The man is also coming back after a very hard day. And if you ask him question in his profession, for the entire day he's been asked question. He comes back, you ask the question. It's not this. It's the same thing. It's going to the brain again. So eliminate questions from life. This is easier said than done. But if you write it down, if you work on this, in a day, a girl asks about 10 to 50 questions to anyone. You pick up a call, hi, how are you? You asked a question. You put your brain into reception mode, it cannot. Hey, what's going on? Question. So if you observe carefully, your life is all around questions. You are asking questions, you are being asked questions. You are asking questions, you are being asked questions. You are asking. No, slow down. Read stories. As you read stories, as you get rid of short things in life, you'll get emotion, you'll learn something. Share those. Share a good story with people. Learn those stories, learn history, make drawing and discuss about making that drawing, the process of making that drawing, what it takes, the experience. What is it? Hey, you made a good drawing. How did you do? You are not asking question out of the curiosity. And whatever answer she does, or he does, you cannot remember it. So first prepare yourself that I'm going to not lead by the questions. A lot of you have concern that people judge you all the time. However, what you do not understand is nobody judge you. You judge yourself all the time. You keep judging yourself all the time because you are asking questions. Others are asking questions. So it's a judgment all around the world. You are always on the feet. The fourth thing that you require for your mood swing is stop justifying. Keep answers short. What happens is this is called boundary, and you must go through the boundary video to understand this better. Now, for the sake of continuity, I'm covering this topic over here, but you should look into the boundary video of this series and understand that. So, people say, "Are you going to come to dinner?" And you answer, "No, no, I'm going for a movie today." The person did not ask you because, but you told because. Stop that. Nobody has any right to know why you are doing something unless until it's a big decision and unless until it's your man. For example, you want to start walking for 30 minutes every day and you want to discuss that with your man in order to adjust the timings. So you don't say, from tomorrow onwards I'm going to walk for 30 minutes and you adjust your time. No. Bring up more emotions into it. So you are giving it to yourself. Look, I believe that I'm being completely stuck in the house. I'm not getting much experiences of the real world. So let me start going for a walk. Would you come and join with me in the morning walk? Something like this. But you went somewhere and while coming back, you have already started thinking, what is the answer you are going to give? So your answers are getting ready, which means that people are continuously asking you questions. They may not ask you question directly with words, but you might have been getting asked a lot of questions through the eyes. So you come late and you see it's a doubtful eyes. You pick that up and you say, my friend Mitali met in the street and I was just talking with Mitali. No. When somebody is asking you a question, your rule is to ask a question back. You ask, why are you looking at me in that way? Please tell me. So when somebody sees that, why are you looking at me in that way? Please tell me what is your concern. He asks, why you are late? Why are you asking? Do you doubt me? Why are you asking? Do you doubt me? So, the point is, you are not going to go into the answering mode very fast. And you are going to tell yourself that neither I am going to ask questions to people after picking up the phone. I'm not going to ask, hi, how are you? I'm going to say something very interesting. Hey, this is Mitali. It's been raining in Bangalore today. I thought I could have a conversation with you on a rainy day. You gave yourself some good mood and you made the mood positive of the other person. No questions. Don't allow questions to be asked from yourself and from the other persons, and don't use fillers. Hey, you deserve to win. Those words, you have to understand that's the reason you must read literature. Once somebody reads literature, your knowledge about the subject is going to improve and you would understand what people are talking these days are mostly the words that's never been used in this society for a long time. These are the narration of people who are really illiterate. You deserve, in my opinion, these are illiterate talks. You just go and read the literature. You start conversation like good novels characters. You understand those characters. You try to understand. Compare your life with that. No questions, and don't justify. People who ask you questions and you keep justifying. I was there because of this. I was this because of that. I was that because. No, because neither the person who is asking you question has anything to do with that because, and not you have anything to do with that because. Alright. So what you learned? Number one, get rid of short things from life. Number two, what you learned? Yes, you learned after getting rid of short things from life. Read longer things such as novels, such as finding out somebody in the YouTube or other channels where you can engage for a very long period of time where there are less distraction. Then third, you learn to engage your right brain, which means that you are going to not see many things but rather imagine. So if you are watching things 15 seconds, 20 seconds, your imagination brain is not working. So by reading literature, you would elevate your imagination brain, and therefore your brain's surface area will get increased, and amount of area your brain works with increases, and you'll feel less stress, you'll feel less shooting pain, your body will get uplifted. The next thing that you learn is that you are going to eliminate the questions from your life. You're neither going to ask questions nor going to allow others to ask questions. Become very, very careful and focused on this. Always remember that the asking questions to anyone is completely disturbing that person's brain, because for any answer, even a small answer, if I ask you, what's your name? Even that requires a lot of energy. And if I ask you, so what makes you to watch these videos for 30 minutes? Explain me. As I ask this question, you would become extremely nervous. You'd have to frame that questions. No, don't do that. And if some question is important, just take time. Say, let me think about it and answer it tomorrow. Let me think about it and answer you tomorrow. It works. Then next is, don't give any justification. If you give justification such as I went there because you went, if you keep giving the justification, then people will keep demanding the justification. You'll keep giving the justification. Then if you are busy planning about the answers that you are going to give after you reach home, if that is the planning, then how do you share the experience of going out? Your brain is not forming that experience, rather it is planning for an answer. No justification. The next thing is understand that it requires, because the female body is a parasympathetic dominant body, cells will be having negative ends and you require the positive ends. Touch is a very essential part of the female body. Without touch, the female body remains incomplete. It's absolutely, there is no opinions about it, because if there are a lot of negative electrons, and if your body has to beat in a higher way sodium electrons, but your arteries are not as your arteries do not support as fast blood supply as, say, for a man. So even if you want to do it, you cannot do it. So somebody has to touch you. Through this touches only female starts feeling their body. So touch is extremely important. And you have to tell your man, you have to tell your husband, or you have to tell him, so, look, I need touch. and I need good touch. That is your need. It's not premium. What is good touch? Somebody has to have a very warm hand. Somebody has to know how to warm himself. Somebody has to know how to come up with better emotions, better memory. It's his responsibility. You're not going to let people think that giving you something is, you don't know. You are seeking time and you are seeking emotion. You're not seeking objects. So, somebody has to give you that good touch which will comfort you. It's your man. And you, man, cannot give you that comfort, let's say, by bringing a gold chain, I don't know, or a diamond ring. No, that's elevating your pleasure again. It's what you get, it's elevating your pleasure. Even if you get a house, even if your husband gives you a house, it's still a pleasure brain because there is not enough emotion which has got attached to just buying that house. Now, what you have to do, therefore, is you have to encourage your man that look, I am ready to even live with one bread a day, but I need time. Please tell me stories. And you have to look for men who can tell you stories, can teach you, explain you, and you can remain calm, comfortable. That's what you are looking for. You're not looking for watching television. Why would you watch television? Television is not going to give you the touch. Television is not going to give you the emotions. Even if you are watching a story in the television, your right brain is bypassed. Why would you want to do that? And why your man should give you the time? It's like this. Because in order to make you comfortable, one has to give you a lot of time and emotion. He will learn the art of patience. Everything is interconnected in the world. Nobody does anything for the other. There is a gain from everybody. This 1 hour that I teach, or half an hour that I teach, I put my energy and emotion, and I get this is a practice, and I try to teach you, thinking that there might be a change in your life. So this is a practice, this is a gain, this is that I make myself accountable for the emotions. Because if I start going with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then I'd be not true to. I'd not be practicing what I'm teaching. I'm teaching emotions, and then I'd be practicing giving you feelings. Doesn't make a difference. So you have to tell your husband, look, if you give me time, if you teach me, if you share stories, and it's his responsibilities how he shares stories, how he gathers stories, how he tells you the stories, right? So it's his responsibility. Why would he do that? Because if he starts doing that, his brain would be much more focused. He would not suffer anxiety. He will get a control over his pressure. He will be able to start thinking a lot, and that's how man and females have been interconnected. You'd get the energy, so all the positive energy of the man you'll consume, then you'll become neutral, the man will become neutral, his aggression will come down, you will consume that through, not when he's outbursting, but you consume that, you gather emotion, and then over a period of time your family is going to be emotionally interdependent family, emotionally interdependent family. There will be the right energy flow. There won't be any health issues. There won't be any emotional issues. And you discover that over a period of time, you do not require anything in life. And You are already 35, 40. If you are a single girl, and don't worry about what people says online. First, you have to focus on yourself, and bring down all this negativity which nobody told you because people had no interest. See, people had no interest in telling you the truth. Now that you are starting to learn the truth, practice them in your life. One of the key questions a female generally has is how am I needed? Because it's a transactional world. One can order food, one can have a teacher. For the healthcare, there is a doctor. So, what is my need? Isn't it? Right. That is the reason. You become. So if a man is earning money, and if you are earning money, the money is not making you happy. It is giving you pleasure, but not making you happy. It's not changing your mood. You might have thought, if I get a good job or if I am successful, I'm going to be happy. Happiness is mood. Any success for a female, any victory for a female, it's elevating your pleasure brain, amygdala, midbrain. It's giving you dopamine. It's not elevating the mood. All right. So understand that you are not looking for monetary gain, career gain, financial gain. They happen. A girl cannot work for money. She feels like prostitute. At some times or the other, that feeling will come in. Have I only born to earn money? Is that what my life is about? Haven't you asked these questions? What is my need? Why am I existing in the world? Who needs me? Nobody needs me. I don't need anyone. So when the girl says I don't need anyone, basically they are saying that I don't need myself. I don't need, they project themselves. You project yourself outside world. So when you say, I don't need anyone, you're saying, I don't need myself. I don't find I'm needed by anyone. Even though you have never been able to state these words, but please remember that inside, every girl, when she earns money, a lot of money, she feels like a prostitute, she feels like a whore. And the question comes, is this all that I am born for? And irrespective of how much money you earn, it is not going to give you any satisfaction. Money doesn't give even men the satisfaction. They have lied to you. Because biologically, money is an object. Money can only give pleasure. Pleasure is midbrain centric. Only this portion of the brain gets elicited. And men doesn't operate with this much of brain. They have made you to falsely believe that this much is your brain. Because money excites us. It's the amygdala, it's the pleasure brain, sympathetic drive. You need complete emotions. You need right brain. The top frontal cortex is anyway shrunk. So slowly, at least right brain you have to unlock. The imaginary brain, the emotional brain. You are not going to drop those brain. You are being tricked here. Amygdala. And they're even taking away your imaginary brain. That's all. That's how you've been led or misled to the mood swing issues. Because your genes, female genes, is a powerful gene. Your genes are now agitating against that system, but you do not know what was happening. Now you know what is happening. The next thing is you want to now unlock your cerebellum, which is the back side of the brain. Engage more brain. So you have to engage back side of the brain. That's your long memory brain. So in order for getting control over your mood, you start reciting poetries. Simple poetries. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the sky so high, like a diamond in the sky. You read and recite. You will feel very, very useless. You'll feel all of this useless because your brain doesn't want to make changes, and that's why today's class would the routines would be after those 12 weeks, and I continued this class. I know you are all good girls. You'll note them down. Once those 12 weeks are done, then all this today's class routines you are going to continue. All right, you have to recite, you have to increase your memory, you have to start remembering. You have to start remembering your life's events. Write it down. Remember, write it down. Remember, write it down. Remember, write it down. Recitation. Spend 1 hour a day to recite a poetry. The more you do this, initially you'll not be able to reproduce recitation because tactfully people have closed even your cerebellum. Your memory is not at the right place. So you are not now going to connect your memory with at least this much portion of brain. Now imagine people are giving you only one finger to operate on, and if I pull this, there will be a pain, right? There is all the pulls, everybody wants you. But if you make right brain instead of amygdala, complete left brain, cerebellum, still you have 4 fingers, and then pulling it is going to be hard. It's so simple. It's biology. It's science. It's simple science. You know this science. You know this science. So just because somebody wants you to buy their agenda, you don't have to. You have to challenge your mothers. You have taken the human race till this far, and it's your responsibility. It's your duty for the human race. Come on, you are carrying this race forward. You are so important that you are going to take the next generation of humanity. Who? Come on, it's biology, and people tell you that you need this, you need that, just because they have an agenda with you. Tell me, if prefrontal cortex has been shrunk, if that doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. If man doesn't have an ovary, he doesn't have an ovary. Just because I'm feeling motherly, I just cannot get an ovary. You change my sex, I can do that. Essentially, I don't have to do that. Understand this fact. You have a breast. I don't have a breast. You can breastfeed your child. That's an extraordinary feeling. Even though I want to experience that, I just cannot get that. So first, start appreciating what you have. You have a longer hair, appreciate it. Smooth skin, appreciate it. You have motherliness, appreciate it. You have so many things. You appreciate your things. When people says you need a job, say no. I need a long hair, I have it. When people says you need a good degree, say no. I need to smile. I can already smile. Can you smile? When people says, look, you need more money, say no. I need more happiness. Look into my eyes. I'm already happy. Look into my eyes. Don't you see happiness? So, first understand that need is something which you have to recognize by what you are good at. This is the last part of the mode. You are beautiful. Appreciate that. Every time you go out, get ready nicely for yourself. Get ready nicely. Appreciate yourself. I have a female body. Whatever your age, maybe I have a female body. I'm getting ready for myself. Eliminate all these shortcuts. Just you are going to wear a pajama and go out. Just no. Prepare yourself, even for a simple walk. Prepare yourself. Make yourself. Work on yourself. See, makeup is not for what others, the way others see you. It is to appreciate your own beauty. Get freshen up, put makeup, have a good dress, get ready for 1 hour. Because that 1 hour that you are giving to you, it's giving your brain the emotions. You got it. If you put up a pajama and t-shirt and if you go out, come on, you are rejecting yourself. Why would people care to accept you? No. You are going to carry the human race forward. You just cannot go out in pajama. It's not a misogynist comment. Every girl should take care of themselves. They should give time to themselves because the world is anyways manipulating you. And if you yourself too start avoiding, then who is going to accept you? So whenever you go out, prepare. Prepare well. Put on makeups. I don't know. It's not for the others. It's for yourself. You are appreciating your beauty. Appreciate your long hair. Appreciate your voice. Appreciate your motherliness. Appreciate your ability to socialize. Why would a man want a breast just because you have a breast? And imagine if you are looking for what a man has, then are you not greedy? Are you not unsatisfied? If you being born with the power of taking a complete species forward, if with that power you are not satisfied, then come on, understand nothing in this world is going to make you satisfied. Alright, you are running after mirage. You're running after mirage. You got to be happy that the God has given you the opportunity and the responsibility to take the human race for. That's happiness. God damn it, that's happiness. No, money is pleasure. It's this much. Happiness is complete brain. And so, just think how much time you give yourself, quality time. Once you start doing this, while going out, start preparing, you'll see your self-esteem has increased significantly high. You'll feel happy because you are now with yourself. You are going to be happy when you stop asking questions and stop letting people ask questions. You are going to be happy when you don't justify and expect people to justify. You are going to be happy when you don't short yourself and you don't allow anybody to short you. That's how you take care of your mood. This is from the 12th week onwards. All these routines. Because 12th week onwards, you'll start feeling yourself. And the moment you start feeling yourself, people are going to come hard at you. They're not going to like this spark in your eyes. They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to tell you how unhappy you are. No, you got to become very happy for the fact that you are feeling yourself. Do this. Come back. Write your comments about what changes you saw in your life after 12 weeks. That's after 4 months. So yesterday's video and today's video together gives you a practical solution as well as along with understanding of how you are going to take your life forward. Right? Right. Now become a good girl. Think about this. All these thinkings are important thinkings. These are not your old ruminations. Become a good girl and start taking control of your life. Don't get manipulated by people who are not up to your level. People who short sells you. People who tells what you need. Understand your need. Understand that you are already powerful. People are jealous of you because they cannot give birth to babies. That's a jealousy. They cannot even, they don't have that power which you have. So they want you to focus on their power. Don't. Understand your market value, understand your price. You set up the price high and people will start giving you higher price. The price is, money is only made. Price is emotion. Complete brain. You must be looking for complete brain, not this much. Right? Okay, thank you. With that, we come to an end of this episode. And I strongly believe that all of you would be start taking care of your life, emotions, mood, and with that, thank you for attending the classes. Have a great day, and any one of you man out there who has been watching these episodes, though I'm pretty sure very few of them are there because you are looking for short anyways. But if you have managed to come this far, consider getting the book Intimacy Lost for Man, The Birth of the Local, because you need her in life and she needs you in life. Thank you. See you tomorrow again with the next class.